Hey there, welcome to another video. My name is Christiane and this is Bible Talks with Chris. If you are unfamiliar with me and you are unfamiliar with this channel, hi, welcome. So happy to have you here. I hope you stick around. I hope you learned something new. Before we start our video, I want to give an apology because I have been MIA for a little minute. I am a college student and I also do have a job, so I'm like trying to figure out how to balance my time with my schoolwork and my own personal study and my own personal life, as well as making YouTube videos and being on here in this space with you guys as well. My time management skills have been lacking, I'm not gonna lie, but I've been praying about it. Others have been praying about it for me as well. And thank God I've been doing much better, and I'm really excited for how much better that I can do, because imagine like your girl gets her time down and we got like consistent videos, like that's gonna be lit. So I'm really working on my consistency. I also had a little bit of struggles like thinking about what to talk about. Might be weird because I talk a lot, but I was like, I don't really know what to talk about. So I just sat down with the Lord and I wrote out things to talk about. I got topics and there are more and more topics, so that was kind of just a little side note. But yeah, so apology. And then I also want to say that I am super excited because at the current making of this video, there are 36 of us in total, 35 of you and 1 of me, and we are here together. We are doing the thing. We are getting into the word. We are learning about the word. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of you who are joining me on this adventure, on this journey. I cannot wait to see what else we uncover, what else we talk about. Yeah. So in this video today, well, as you know, for those of us who are coming back and for those of us who are new, hey, we have been talking about what the Bible is, what it's about, what the theme is. And in this video, I want us to spend a little bit more time on how the Bible was written and how we can see the different story and understand the main storyline, which is God is love, and we can see the different ways how the Bible was written. So a lot of this information, like when you know something but you don't know it well enough to explain it to someone, right? So that's kind of like how I was, because I've been meaning to make this video for a minute, but I didn't really have the words, the language, and the extensive knowledge to explain it. So I took it upon myself. The Lord was like, all right, bet, let's learn this information. So Bible Project is a place to be. I will link their series down below, but we are basically going to be doing a recap of what I learned over there, and then you guys can also go and watch those videos as well for like the whole Bible Project, what would I say, pizzazz, because their videos are actually really nice. So yeah, we are going to be talking about literary styles in the Bible, the plot, the setting, the characters, all these different things, and how the Bible was written that helps us to understand and navigate the story and the way how it was written in a better way. So without further ado, let's get started. So if it looks like I'm reading, that is because I am. One thing about me, I take notes, okay? I need to have things written down, so walk with me. But yeah, so first we're going to start off with the different literary styles that are found in the Bible. There are 3 literary styles: narratives, poetry, and prose discourse. 43% of the Bible is narrative, so that means story. So almost half the Bible is written in a story format. 33% is written in poetry, and 24% is written in prose discourse. So throughout the rest of the video, like we're gonna be breaking down these elements and getting some details, some enlightenment on what that means. So let's start off with narrative. As we've been talking about before, the Bible is a huge story, interconnected story, and as we know about a story, stories have many different uses and many reasons why they are told. And in the case of the Bible, stories, when we read like these stories of these characters, we begin to look at the characters and their lives but it begins to mirror onto us. We begin to look at this character and compare ourselves and see ourselves in that character, and we start to get a grasp of, okay, this is what happened to this character. This character's life is kind of looking like mine, and they needed to make a change. So what about my life? Do I need to change? And stories also are used to help us understand things that we already know, but we may not want to accept it or grasp it. And perfect example of that is in the Bible with David and the prophet Nathan, King David and the prophet Nathan. So with the story of King David, he had an affair with Bathsheba. He did her dirty. He killed her husband, and then they had a baby, and unfortunately the baby died. It was really just not a pleasant situation. But the main gist of that was King David was in the wrong. But he initially was not accepting that. He wasn't he wasn't taking responsibility for what he did. He wasn't standing up and saying, I was wrong. So God sent the prophet Nathan to tell King David a story. And within that story, it was about this man who had a sheep. He loved the sheep very much. Long story short, someone came and stole the sheep. And then I think he killed the sheep. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to check. But anyways, the man had a sheep, loved the sheep. He didn't have the sheep no more because someone stole his sheep. So then David got all mad. He was like, this is crazy. This is outrageous. That man needs to be killed. Like, where is this man? Let's go get this man. And then the prophet Nathan was like, that is you. And King David was like, whoa, hold on. What do you mean by that? And then he began to look back on what he did, and then that is how Psalm 51 was written. If you are not familiar with Psalm 51, I definitely say go back and read it, especially with this in mind, how the story was used to help King David see and understand the fault and error that he did, not only against Bathsheba and his friend, her husband, but also against God. All right, so now let's look at poetry. I'm not quite sure if I mentioned this before I started talking about the literary styles, but I'm gonna say it again just in case I did say it. Literary styles are different ways of communicating, and you can communicate a point, a message through using a story, poetry, or prose discourse in this specific case of the Bible. So now when we look at poetry, poetry is another way of communicating. And the beauty of poetry and the usefulness of poetry is that it evokes more emotion, and it invites us to use our imagination for the different concepts. With poetry, we can take simple concepts and expand on them in broader ways and more imaginative ways. And poetry also forces us to think in a new way, that same point of taking like a simple concept and then seeing it in a different way, or looking at something from many different perspectives. Now let's talk about prose discourse. So prose discourse is basically just regular writing. Think of if you're writing a speech or if you're writing a letter, you have point A, you have point B, you just get there. Whereas with poetry, there are so many different layers, there's so many different like metaphors and similes and a whole bunch of other figurative language that you have to sort through, and then you can see things from many different ways. But with prose writing, it's very much, it is what it is. What it said is what it said, you know? And the definition of prose discourse is that it's a sequence of ideas into one linear thought that require a logical response. So prose discourse is not really appealing to our emotions as much as it is to our logic. So now we basically covered, like real basic, the three literary styles of the Bible. We have narrative, poetry, and prose discourse. So now we're just going to take a look at some of the interesting facts that I learned as well from the Bible Project series on how to read the Bible. Just some really interesting facts that would help us to understand the Bible a little bit more, and I want to like lay this foundation for everything else that we are going to be reading, everything that we're going to look at. I think it's a really good idea for us to have a better grasp and a better understanding of the way how the Bible was written, and all like the, not because we're not like getting too in depth, but just basic overviews of the components of the Bible, so that when we read it, we'll have a better idea of what's going on, instead of kind of just like walking in blind. And of course we have the Holy Spirit with us, so he's gonna help us to understand more and more. And I'm so grateful for this series, and I'm so grateful for the explanations on the Bible Project, because it really just made sense, and it's stuff that I'm like, wow, like I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know, like, it just, I believe like going through this, we can really see the intentionality of the Bible. We can see the intentionality of how it was written, and we can ultimately see like through the beauty of the Bible and all its different components, we can see the beauty of our God, because we have one God who does so many things in so many different ways, but at the end of the day, like, he is just that one good God. Hey guys, so this is the end of this video. I actually recorded a much longer video, but it wouldn't download, so I couldn't post the completed video. It was about 24 minutes, but I don't even really want the videos to be that long anyways. But you guys let me know, would you rather like the full like 24-minute videos, or would you rather me split it up into the different parts like I've been doing? Because I would just have to find a way how to get the longer videos to download. But if you want the longer videos, let me know. But if you are fine with the parts, also let me know. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and watching another video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned something interesting. If you learned something new or interesting, definitely put it in the comments. Talk to your girl, let me know. Like, when I was going over this information, I was like, wow, this is actually so cool. I'm back at my apartment, dorm style apartment, whatever you want to call that. So that's why the background look like this. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys the next time. We have another part coming up after this, so I will see you guys over there. Bye.